to take us home on IRT is what I'm going to do here. I'm going to combine the mortgage protection with the college education. Understand this, they're both equally important. They're both phenomenal benefits. However, they're so similar in how we're doing the I's, R's, and the T's that it just makes sense to pull them together because there really is no variation from one process to the next. In both cases, you're going to read the intro, deliver it with some passion, deliver it with some conviction. Make sure to make it a conversation as we've been talking throughout the IRT segment. It should be a dialogue between you and the client, not a monologue where you're standing and delivering. Once you finish the intro, then you're gonna skip the video here because they're both just very obvious. Obviously, you have a balance of your mortgage. We want to get that taken care of. Simple as that. Obviously, you want your kids to go to college. Here's what we're going to need. We don't need a video to explain why it's important. The picture is naturally painted already for them in their mind. With that being said, one major thing that I do want to point out as we get into the mortgage and the college, I know Canella touched on this in the survey, that accidental death benefit, the ADB product, is a very popular product when it comes to the college and the mortgage. And keep in mind, both of these benefits are going to be presented to just the primary who's in the survey as the primary individual. Maybe they're the union member. Maybe they're the one that sent in the request for the child safety kit. Maybe it was their brother or their sister that referred them in. So whoever you put in as the primary, it doesn't mean they're the primary breadwinner. It just means that's the first person's name that you put into the survey. That's who these programs and these benefits are going to be protecting. So with that said, getting back to ADB, if this is going to be the product that shows up for these needs, it's going to prompt you before the video pulls up, before the intro screen shows let's examine your need for mortgage protection, or before it shows let's examine your need for college education. The computer will prompt you and it'll ask, would you like to display ADB as the product for these benefits? 100% of the time, you want to click yes. Reason being, that's the computer's way of telling you if we don't show ADB, then we are going to exceed the 5%. Therefore, it is going to be well over and beyond that family's budget. So with that being said, the verbiage that we want to use, and I'll get into why it's a viable option here in a second, but the verbiage that we want to use, because we need to address it right from the rip. Number one, that prompt pops up. Automatically, I'm going to say, and I'll go slow if you guys want to write this down. So Joe, the next benefits are going to be presented in the form of accidental death benefit. Reason being, if something happens to you while these next needs are present, it's most likely going to be due to an accident. But now we're forthcoming, we addressed it, we're right up front. They know that the next benefits, whether if it's mortgage and or college, are going to be shown in the form of accidental death. It just makes it a lot easier for the client to go in knowing what the product is. So the reason that it's such a viable product, and for me, guys, this helped me dramatically in my own buy-in and my own belief towards ADB versus term. When it was broken down to me that the payout percentage of a term policy in general was 2.7% of the time it would pay out, versus ADB, it pays out 2.4% of the time. The reason why that's the case is if a term policy normally covers somebody from the prime age of 25 to the, call it 65 retirement years, normally if something happens between the ages of 25 and 65, more often than not, as we see in the percentages, more often than not, it's going to be due to an accident if that individual perishes. So from that point, all we got to do, intro the video, recap the video using the same method we did before, what they recommend, what their existing coverage is, therefore what they need, therefore the amount, tie it down logically, and most importantly, tie it down emotionally, get a verbal answer, a verbal yes or a verbal no from the client, and at that point, now we can continue.